37,000. Wait, how much is this gonna do? 270,000 damage. Ain't no way. Hello gamers, and today Grandpappy Welt's going to be imprisoning enemies faster than he had to imprison the retirement home he was in to escape to be here with us today. And as the great Master Oogway always says, if pulling Welt does not make you hard, then you must be forced to main solo sustain Japad. Maybe he didn't say that, but Welt's great, and we're going to be talking about 2 builds for him today, and showing you how to actually use him. We're going to be having timestamps in the video for any section you want to go to, whether that be Lightcones, Relics, the showcase at the end, whatever it might be, because that damage at the beginning of the video is not a lie. He did that much damage and he can consistently do it as well. So anyways gamers, let's go ahead and talk about his skills first so we can get a better understanding of his kit. So let's just go ahead and bounce right into the skill. Ha, see what I did there? His skill does bounce, and what this means is basically it works like Asta's skill or Sampo's skill, where it hits one target and then hits random targets as well. So if there's only one target on the field, then all of them are going to hit that one target, but if there are additional enemies, it randomly hits those targets up to 2 times. This is also going to be dealing imaginary damage equal to a certain percent of Welt's attack to a random enemy, and these 2 additional attacks are the same amount of damage as you would do with just targeting one person. There's also going to be a 71% base chance at level 7 to reduce the enemy speed by 2 turns. Now, reducing speed is super important for Welt's kit. This unlocks a lot of his damage potential, which plays directly into his talent here. When hitting an enemy that is already slowed, Welt deals additional imaginary damage equal to a certain percent of his attack to the enemy. So guys, if you have the enemy slowed, this is the main thing, right? This is going to be dealing an extra 48% damage to those enemies. This is going to be super big to have, and something you need to take mind of when actually playing with Welt. We'll showcase this when I actually get to the showcase at the end of the video though. Then we're going to be hopping into his ultimate here, which honestly does the most damage. He's going to be dealing imaginary damage to all enemies with a 100% base chance to imprison them for 1 turn. This is actually going to be something we're going to take use of actually using both builds. Now additionally, what this does is imprisoned enemies are going to have their action delayed by a certain percentage. This will also increase with the skill level, and their speed's going to be reduced. Meaning if you get some effect hit right in there, you can almost guarantee this effect to happen every time, which means your ultimate will be slowing the enemies. Something else I do want to mention is actually his technique. His technique is super good. And the reason why this is so good is because any enemy hit with this, their movement speed is going to be reduced by 50%, which is basically like a speed debuff on them. And after entering the battle, there's a 100% base chance to imprison them. That means if you have the full Wastelander set, you'll automatically be getting the extra crit rate and crit damage from that just immediately. This is also going to be delaying their action and speed, so that means that using this ability before battle is really crucial, and as far as getting like first rotation, first turn damage, because it is reducing that speed, and usually you can get him to go first. But with kind of the gist of what he does out of the way now, let's go ahead and hop into his bonus abilities and how you should be leveling them up. Now, as far as his first one, Retribution, when using an ultimate ability, there's a 100% base chance to increase the damage received by the targets by 12% for 2 turns. This is also going to be increasing the damage you do, meaning when you ult, using your skills after the fact is going to be doing increased damage, and if you can get the ult up really fast, that's where you can get your really big bursty damage. But like I said before, we'll talk about how to use all this to your best benefit at the end of the video with a showcase. His number 2 is going to be Judgment. Using ultimate additionally regenerates 10 extra energy. This is going to play into a big thing of what I use for his kit and what I think to be the best in his kit. This is super good. Honestly, his bonus abilities are really cracked. And then finally, Punishment deals 20% more damage to weakness inflicted with Weakness Break. Meaning if the enemy is weakness broken, you're going to be dealing additional damage to those enemies. So in certain circumstances, it might not be bad to break the shield with someone else, just because he is going to get an extra 20% damage increase there anyways. You're not losing, I guess you're losing like the break damage you would do with him, but you're ultimately making up for some of that with the increased damage you're going to be doing with your skills or ultimate or whatever you're going to do, right? There's also a lot of attack nodes in here. I would recommend getting as many of these attack nodes as possible, and also the imaginary damage bonus ones. This is going to play in a big role as far as like his DPS, right? And I think that should be pretty self-explanatory. As far as how to be leveling up his skills and talents, honestly, you need just about all of them other than the basic attack, so just level up all of them. If I were to put a priority on one to level up, I would say his ult, just because this is going to be guaranteeing slows, it delays their action even more, and makes him more of a support character than a DPS character, which can work for both builds. Keep that in mind. The main build we're going to be showing off today is mostly going to be a DPS build, but I'll tell you about how to build another build as well. Now, before hopping into the relics, I do just want to quickly go over the Eidelons because I do think this is pretty important before we talk about what we're going to be running for the relics. If you have E1, that's going to influence what planar set you want to run on him, or have a bigger influence over it, right? His E1 makes him have an enormous damage buff, because what it's going to be doing is after he uses his ultimate, his next 2 times he does an attack are going to be enhanced. That means his basic attack or skill will be enhanced. His basic attack will be increased by 50% of whatever the base damage multiplier is, and the skill will be increased by 80% of that. So really good there. Number 2, when it's talent triggered, he gets 3 extra energy. Pairing this with energy regen is really nice. E2 is kind of hard to get though. Obviously, anything higher than this, you're probably a whale, or you just got, I guess, really lucky / unlucky in your pulls. All of these are really good, right? But before we actually hop into these relics, and you've already enjoyed what you've seen so far, please hit that subscribe button. It would really help the channel out, because I love Welt, I love playing Honkai style Welt, and I hope you guys do too, and I wish to bring the best guides possible, so if you want to show your support, please hit that subscribe button. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into these relics now, and what you're gonna see here is not a set. We're running a very rainbowy set, right? We have a 2-piece of the imaginary banditry set, but other than that, we're just kind of running like whatever we have as far as best stats, and that's a big point I want to bring up here, right? You don't necessarily need set bonuses. While they do help provide a lot of damage for your team, I was hitting that damage without the 4-piece of the Wastelander. You don't need the 4-piece sets or even 2-piece sets in most cases, right? Like, they do help some, but if you have good main stats, go for the good main stats, go for the good substat. If you have a lot better stats offset, then it's better to do that than be on set, right? Obviously, the set helps to make up for some of that, of not having like the best substats, but if you have like a lot better substats, run what you have, just the best of what you have. Don't worry about sets. But if we're going to actually talk about how to bring him to the highest DPS possible, which is the first build we're going to talk about today, after this we're going to talk about his effect hit rate build, which means he's more of a supporting player. But let's go ahead and talk about the DPS build first. So as far as the DPS build goes, you're going to be wanting to run a 4-piece of the banditry set. The reason you're going to be wanting to run this 4-piece of the banditry set is because at the 4-piece, you're getting an increased crit rate by 10% and increased crit damage against imprisoned enemies, which you imprison enemies from ult. You also can imprison enemies from breaking shield. You can imprison enemies by entering battle with his ability active. You can almost guarantee to have this procced off whenever you're going in for an attack or doing just about anything, because he can so easily imprison the enemies. Now, you could also go 2-piece Wastelander, 2-piece Musketeer. This is also another set you could run and have a pretty good time with it as well. Obviously, your damage will drop off, but like I said before, run the best of what you have with what you got, right? So, with that out of the way, these are the only real 2 sets that I recommend for this. As far as the planar set goes, I am running 2-piece Runeliner right now because first of all, I do have E1, meaning his skill attacks do hit for more damage, meaning this is a bigger benefit for me to use this instead of Salsato, right? Now, if you don't have E1, it might be more beneficial for you to run Salsato here. First of all, the crit threshold you need to reach is lower. He doesn't have any crit rate in his kit, meaning you have to build everything up from substats alone. It can be hard to achieve if you don't have like a Fushuan like I have, or if you don't have like really, really good substats, or you're don't have a 4-piece Wastelander set, right? Like, there are ways to get him to 70, sure, but overall, I think Salsato could be better because a lot of his damage is coming from that ultimate attack. And considering his ultimate cost is only 120, this is easier to obtain than some other DPS in this game. I'm looking at you, Danny boy. But while we're still on the topic of sets, something else you could run in the set here would be the 2-piece Pan-Galactic. And the reason I say this is because it increases the wearer's effect hit rate by an extra 10%, and is also going to be increasing your attack as well. Now, if you're running DPS Welt or like main damage dealer Welt, I wouldn't recommend running this, right? There are very few situations where you would want to run this. If you are running support Welt and you want to make sure he hits all the time and you're just almost at that threshold, then maybe run this if you're really lacking on effect hit rate. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we're rocking a clean 0% effect hit rate, and we're golden. We're golden, right? Of course, I'm not running him support, so if you are running him support, obviously focus more on that effect hit rate. Now, with all the set information out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about main stats here, right? On the boots, I'm running attack percent boots. The reason I'm running attack percent boots here is because I'm using them on a team with Ting Yun that is E5 and also has dance on her, meaning I can get him back up 2 times in a turn without having to worry about him only going once a turn, right? So if you're in that circumstance, you have Ting Yun on your team, Dance, like at least E2, then maybe this is a viable option for you to run. If not, then you might want to run speed boots here. Your damage will drop off though. I am opting in to run attack boots here to get that high damage. And also another reason why I'm running attack boots here is because of our rope. Our rope is going to be energy regenerate. I want him getting his ult back up as quickly as possible. The more we have his ult, the more we can imprison the enemies. Theoretically, if we had the full Wastelander set, which we unfortunately do not have, we would be imprisoning the enemies and doing more damage. Overall, it still slows them more, meaning your skills do more damage, your ultimates do more damage, everything like that. I do like energy regenerate so we can push the enemies all the way back to next year's Christmas, okay? Hopping into the chest plate now, if you're running support Welt, run effect hit right here. You want as much effect hit rate as possible so he's guaranteeing his abilities every turn. But we're not that guy, okay? We're the guy we are is we're gonna be running crit damage Welt here because crit damage Welt is insane. we get as much damage as possible. We have a decent amount built up in our kit. We're using Foxian so I can get to the 70% crit threshold we need to reach. This is what I'm running here, crit damage Welt. As far as the substats I was aiming for on this build here, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't focus anything on effect hit rate. It's probably smart to have some in your kit. I'm not that smart though. I don't have it in this kit. Basically, what we're focused on getting in the substats is gonna be crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, speed. That's the main thing I'm focused on. If you can get effect hit rate in there, that would be great. But these are the main things that I'm focused on. The reason I'm focused on speed is because if we can somehow reach 134 speed, or just get him up as much speed as possible in the subsets, it will help him out get cycled up faster with Ting Yun's ability. Especially if you don't have a Ting Yun and you want the extra damage, then maybe running speed would help you out a lot more there too. Now, with all of the relic stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the light cones now. The light cones are very impressive here. Now, most people might say, run Welt's signature light cone. Well, I don't have Welt's signature light cone, okay? You know, it's great and all. It helps out a lot. But you know what I do have? I do have an S5 Good Night Sleep Well, so this is the most relatable Welt you've ever seen in your life. I'm using S5 Good Night Sleep Well on him to get an absolutely massive damage buff. Generally, he can get about 2 debuffs on the enemy, meaning I can get a 48% damage increase just about at all times with him. If he can slow and imprison the enemies, this is an absolutely huge damage buff here. Now, as on top of this, if you can get extra debuffs from your team on the enemy as well, aka if someone, say, breaks a shield on an enemy for some reason, that's not the same weakness here, you get an extra dot on the enemy for some reason, or just anything in general. Maybe Foxian breaks some enemy shields. This will also be helping out with your damage as well. If you don't have this option, other options you could run would be Eyes of Prey, just because it increases the effect hit rate. Now, this will not be playing at all into your damage Welt set. If you want to run DPS Welt, it's going to be his signature light cone or Good Night Sleep Well. Sorry, those are the only 2 options you can run for that. If you're running support Welt, you can run just about any light cone under the sun here that gives them effect hit rate. That's really all I can offer to you on the light cone section here. Imprison him, Welt, and shoot him, Foxian mommy. There we go. Look at that. We surely didn't record this 3 other times trying to imprison the enemy because he has 0% effect hit rate. That doesn't matter though, guys. Look at our beautiful team here. We have the beautiful Foxian, the 2 Foxian beauties, and we also have Hugh Hefner over here. Basically, that's what Welt is, because he's pulling all of the Foxian mommies in the game. But let's show you a bit of this showcase here, show you what this team can do, what Welt can do, what damage he can do, how big of a player he is. Come on, Welt, let's do some big damage here. 32k immediately. Let's see what this ultimate's doing. 16k. Okay, easy clap. 136,000 damage. No problemo for my boy Welt here. Already killed both of the side enemies. Surely he'll be able to do it again because he's already back at, what, almost 50% of his ultimate move. Let's go, Welt. Easy clap. Oh my god. And then we also have Miss Yu Sussy Kong's ult as well. And what's great about having an E6 Yukong on your team is you don't have to use her skill. You can just hold off her ability as much as possible. We're gonna actually hold this off until he can ult again. We're just gonna go ahead and do a normal basic attack here because we're not gonna kill. We almost have his ult back up. We need one more turn, then we'll have his ult back up. But we're gonna be golden by that time. Trust me, guys. Yes, the enemies have put me in the perfect position where I have everyone's ult up. This damage is gonna go crazy right here. Trust me, guys. Watch this. Watch this right here. Watch this epic gamer play right here. I messed it up. Oh no, guys. I misplayed. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's surely okay. We're gonna send him to the Shadow Realm, as you can see, by attacking his second slot here. Mr. Gotcha Smack taught me this. If you attack in the second slot here, it pushes the enemy back to the Shadow Realm on all the bosses. So you can push them back by a bunch of turns if you can actually hit this correctly. We're actually gonna break his shield here, so we're doing that 20% extra damage, and we're gonna give Welt the ultimate move as well, or Ting Yun's ult right here, so we can advance action order first of all. See, now he's going all the way up here, and then we're gonna hit him with a skill attack. I can't speak right now. What the hell? Let's see what Papa Welt can do here. As you can see, we pushed him so far back that he still doesn't have a turn. 48,000 on the skill. Come on, 14,000 off rip, and then bang, 117,000 damage. Hey, yo, let's go, Poppy Welt. Oh, he's gonna summon his little minions in. Well, you know what? Welt doesn't care. Bang! I used the ability wrong again. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, guys, it's okay. The robot man's here on his second attack now. Hopefully, even though we don't have any effect hit rate, we send the robot man back to the Shadow Realm. Surely we do. Imprison him? Oh, we did. We sent the robot man back to the Shadow Realm. Easy clap. Anyways, let's go ahead and break my boy's shield right here. 61,000 damage on the break there. And yeah, let's go ahead and pop the ultimate off. 37,000. Wait, how much is this gonna do? 270,000 damage. Ain't no way. Welt, what are you doing? Almost 300,000 damage. Welt, you're crazy. He's a mad lad. That's the highest damage I've ever hit before on Welt. Almost 300,000 damage. What the hell was that? Hit him, hit him, hit him. 22k, not that much. 9k. This is not gonna do as much as the last one. We're gonna go from 270k to 100. It's still 100,000 though, which is honestly not bad at all. So, did you like that big damage there? Did you like Grandpappy Welt doing almost 100k on every single ultimate attack, and also doing like upwards of 40, 50k, sometimes 80k on his skills? Absolutely amazing. My boy's a mad lad, and this is not even his best build. Like, I'm using a rainbow set. If I were to actually get him full inset, get a better Ting Yun build for Ting Yun to help him out more, he would be absolutely slapping the enemy. He would be lathering on them. He is insane, and if you think he's insane too, or my build's insane, then please subscribe to the channel, because it would really help out. I plan on having some more build guides come out on the channel. Let me know if you guys want to see a particular build guide. I'm going to Japan soon, so the videos are probably going to be pretty loaded. I have a video series I want to do where we talk about building every single type of character in the game, so that's probably what you'll see in the next coming weeks here in the first week of December anyways. Gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. Please subscribe so we can do more giveaways and stuff like that, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.